Hello, welcome to Confrontation TV. Thank you for stopping by my channel to watch my videos. If you're new to my channel, please hit the subscribe button so that you'll be alerted whenever I drop a new video. But if you've been coming here and you have never subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. All you have to do is just sign in whilst you're on YouTube with your Gmail login information and then click on the subscribe. Please click. All right, thank you so much for doing this, guys. Today we have another interview experience, and unfortunately this is a sad one. All right, and this is brought to you by social media problems. So I'm just going to tell you what happened with this case. So this brother went for interview in Yaoundé, Cameroon on November 8th, and so he went for interview, paid for his fees and everything was all done. So I'm going to talk to you about the interview experience. We'll read it and then I will, we'll discuss what exactly happened. All right. I had an appointment today, November 8th, at the embassy at 9:30 a.m. I got up early at 5 a.m. I first went to church as usual at 7 a.m. and then I took a taxi to Gulf. I arrived at the embassy at 8 o'clock. So when we arrived, we checked if we had the real appointment, and you go through all the security checks. I wonder what the "we" is for. Inside, the black lady asked me to place my documents as follows: birth certificate, my diplomas, my medical examination, police clearance, and then 5x5 photos. The lady asked me the questions of the following: if I have the lady asked me if I have traveled outside Cameroon. I said no, and she tells me to go sit down with my number 28 token. After a few minutes, they call me and then they tell me to go and pay the $330 visa fee, and which I did, and go and went back to my seat. After about 15 minutes, I heard from a white American lady call me. I go there and she starts to check my documents and then takes me the scan of my 4 fingers. So he did the 4 left, 4 right, and then did the 2 big fingers, thumbs. After all that, the interview begins. Okay, my people, I'm reading stuff here, so that's why I'm looking on the side. What is your name? The applicant answers. She tells me to raise my right hand and swear to tell the truth, and I swear. Are you married? I answered no. Do you have children? I answered no. What is your educational level? I explained my educational level. Have you been married in the past? I answered no. Are you engaged, or do you want to get married before the trip? I answered no. Have you had children in the past? I said no. Were you customarily married? I said no. After all the questions, after all the answers to her questions, she told me to go back and sit down. I wait another 10 minutes. The lady calls my number 28 again, and she takes me to a room where I meet a gentleman. He greets me and I greet him in return. He asks me the following: how are you? He asked me, how are you? I said, I am fine. He takes out a paper with the writings and asks me to read it carefully. I read. On the paper, it is written that if you lie about your marital status, your level of study, or your allegations, you'll be disqualified. Did you read the paper very well? Yes, indeed, I said. He tells me that here at the embassy, when you are asked the questions, in reality, we already know the answers. The questions I will ask you, You will convince me, I'll give you the visa. Otherwise, if you continue to lie, I will put you on blacklist. You will never again set foot in USA legally. And I assure you that we have the way to prove to yourself that you are lying. Do you understand? I said, yes, sir. So tell me, who is this woman to you? And these are children for who? So tell me, who is this woman to you? And these children are for who? We can understand that it was last day versus you were in a hurry, you applied the loan because they were not, there with you. We can understand things happen. But to continue to say you are not married, you do not have children, that is not right. I told the guy, what happened was I played the lotto 7 times with my wife and children. I was not selected. But it was only this time that I played alone. I was selected. Being selected, the cyber people advised me that I was playing alone. I must continue alone until the end. The consul tells me, I understand. We have always told cyber people to stop saying this kind of speech to people. I'm sorry, it is not me who decides who gives you the visa or not. I'm going to go back to see the person who interviewed you. This is to say, the white lady. I'm going to explain to him what you have told me. After going out of the room, I go back and sit down. Now I await the verdict of the lady. After few times later, so I suppose it's few minutes later, the lady consul calls me and tells me that she has been told that I am married and I have children. And I said yes. She takes a white paper and she writes on it my name, my case number, and tells me, sir, you are not eligible for the American diversity visa. So this is a word from this our brother. He said, after my difficult interview, my advice to give you is not to lie. Be truthful. They check and verify my Facebook account, and they took the pictures. I was with my wife. I was wearing a ring on my finger, and then the other I was with my case. These photos I had forgotten to delete from my Facebook. And that is the sad end of this brother's journey. So now let's analyze the whole situation. This man says he has applied for 7 times with his wife and children, and the only time he decided to apply as single, that is the time that he won. You know, they say where God's children cook their food, that is where the devil also roasts his tilapia. My Ghana people, you understand this now. This man has been applying for 7 years, and the only time he didn't include his wife, he wins. The only time he didn't include his children, he wins. Now let's come to the part that he said the cyber people advised him that since he applied as single, he must continue as single. Sometimes people end up in situations like this and they feel that they need to continue. But this is the risk you run into. When you are going to lie, you make sure you do a really good job. I wouldn't advise you to lie because it takes a lot of work to lie. It takes a lot of work, a lot of effort, a lot of thinking, a lot of brainstorming to lie. So if you decide to lie, you better be ready to do a good job. But if you cannot, it is easy to be honest. We don't know. If he had included his wife and children, he probably could have won the lotto anyway. Maybe that is just the year of his opportunity. It didn't matter whether he included his wife or he included his children. He was going to win anyway. Don't let us attach some of these superstitious beliefs. It's by luck. Maybe the by luck of my wife. Do the right thing. If only he had included his wife and children, we would have been reading a different story. This would have been a different story altogether. Now let's go to the interview part. When our brother was asked the question, the first question aside his name was, "Are you married?" He said no. They asked him, "Do you have children?" He said no. And then they asked about his educational background. And then they asked him, "Have you been married in the past?" He said no. So far, 4 questions, 2 of them about marriage. And then they asked again, "Are you engaged to someone? Or do you plan to marry someone before your trip to America?" He said no. And then they asked another time, "Are you married customarily or like what we call traditional marriage? Have you married that way?" He said no again. Hey. They asked 4 questions about his relationship. That should have rang a bell in his head. Ding, 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 ding. These people, they are on to me. They have caught me. And let me tell you, when the embassy catches you in a lie and you tell them the truth, it doesn't mean that they are going to be lenient with you. They are going to sympathize with you, empathize with you. No. But at least your punishment will not be more severe. You see, they told the guy now that the guy who took him to the back room told him, "If you continue to lie, then we might blacklist you. So as you continue to remain stubborn, nonchalant about your lies, they've caught you red-handed, and then you are just full speed. Boom! Hey! They've caught you red-handed. You are like, I don't hear anything. No. Full speed. Boom! That's what he told him. When we catch you and you keep digging the hole, we'll bury you in there. So that was a sad interview experience. But my advice to you guys is that be honest. Be honest. It is easy to be honest. But if you're going to lie, you better have these 2 things. Be smart and don't be lazy. A lazy man can't have a good lie. If you are not smart, if you are dumb, if you are stupid, your plan cannot work. If you're lazy, it means you are not doing too much work. Our brother later mentioned that he had posted pictures of his wife and children on Facebook. He didn't go and delete them. You see now, if you're going to lie, you better do a thorough job. I'm not advising you to go and lie, my people, because I think it's easier to tell the truth. But if you're going to do that, you better do a better job. Yeah. You better do a better job. So be mindful. You have to let your story be consistent. The story that you're going to the interview to tell them, is it consistent with what you're showing on social media? Is it consistent with what your church members know you to be? Is it consistent with what your neighborhood people know you to be? Is it consistent with your job? Is it consistent with everything around you? If you say you are not married, but then they call your friend and your friend says you are married, And then some of you will ask, how would they know? How would they find out? I've made a video about that. Please go and watch that video. I've explained how they will catch you in your lie. Please don't make it too difficult for yourselves and your family. Now, our brother did medicals. In Cameroon, I've been told that if you don't have the COVID card, your medicals is 144K. If you have COVID, your COVID card is 141K. You add a $330 visa fee. And then he took even a taxi to go there. Went to church in the morning. Upon all of that, wasted the money. Ended up in tears. Disappointment. The fact that this interview experience is being shared now should tell you that this person, it might take a little while for them to recover from this disappointment. Trust me, when you get refused US visa, it takes a while for you to recover. Some people, they stay away from social media. They don't want to talk. Some people, they become angry. Some people become depressed. Make it easy on yourself. Be honest. Do things the right way so that you don't have to spend a lot of time trying to concoct a story. All right? So guys, that is the interview experience. If you want to read about it, come to my Facebook page, Wofoi TV. It is posted there. You can go and read about it. But congratulations to all the people whose visas were approved today. We are rooting for those of you who have your interviews coming up. We are rooting for you. Go get your visa. Go get your visa. And if your interview has been completed, please share your interview experience with us. I just send an email to wofoitv@gmail.com so that we can share for others to learn something from it, so that you too can learn something, know where you made the major mistakes, okay? Because we don't want you to go back there and repeat your mistakes. You never know. You might win the lotto next year. You might win it 2 years time, 3 years time. Who knows? You don't want to go and repeat the mistakes that you did there. So that's why it's good to share your interview experience so that you can get some advice, some opinion about what went wrong or what went wrong. When you share your good news, also it motivates others. It encourages them for them to keep going. All right. So thank you so much for your time. Please subscribe. I love you guys, and I'll see you on my next video. Bye bye.